Dare to uncover the darkest corners of cinema? Welcome to the second chapter of our journey into the best hidden horror films, where nightmares come alive and the unseen horrors lurk just beyond the screen. If you think you've faced every fright, brace yourself for a selection of bone-chilling gems that will haunt your thoughts long after the credits roll.
It's not your boy. He's not your son!
Number 10. Gaia. Gaia is a chilling horror film that transports the viewer to the depths of an impenetrable forest where nature has become deadly. In this ghastly world, two forest rangers come across what appears to be an ordinary place forgotten by time. But this is only the beginning of their nightmare. Mysterious creatures and strange, mutated plants begin to reveal their true, terrifying nature. The forest becomes a maze full of indescribable, menacing forces that lurk in the shadows and wait to devour anyone who dares to disturb its peace. The deeper the heroes penetrate into this green hell, the more they begin to understand that the forest is alive and governed by its own brutal, primitive laws. Surrounded by an ever-changing, deadly environment, they must face primal nightmares that permeate their minds and bodies, revealing the dark secrets of the place. It's a story about survival, but also about the fears that lurk in the heart of nature, ready to devour anyone who gets close. Number 9. Pengabdi Setan 2. Communion. Communion tells the story of terrifying events that befall a family after they experience mysterious and disturbing phenomena related to the presence of alien beings. The main character begins to have increasingly realistic and frightening visions and experiences of being abducted by extraterrestrials. These events call into question the line between reality and hallucinations, and the family begins to lose its sense of security. The film explores themes of fear of the unknown, of alien beings who may be watching us and influencing our lives in ways beyond our comprehension. It's a story about trying to stay sane and survive in the face of unimaginable terror. If you like movies that penetrate your deepest fears and leave you with a sense of unease, Communion is definitely worth watching. It's a terrifying journey into the depths of the human psyche, where the truth turns out to be more terrifying than your worst nightmare. Number 8. Relic. This terrifying horror film effectively draws the viewer into an atmosphere of anxiety and horror. It tells the story of a family that faces dark secrets related to their aging mother, who has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. When she is found in a dilapidated, neglected house, disturbing things begin to happen. As the woman descends further into madness, her behavior becomes more and more frightening, and the house is filled with dark, supernatural forces. The film builds tension through an atmosphere of unease and overwhelming claustrophobia, using dark and disturbing images that leave the viewer in a state of constant unease. If you like horror films that combine psychological elements with supernatural phenomena, Relic is definitely worth watching. Its intense, disturbing scenes and emotional depth make it a powerful experience that lingers long in the memory. Number 7. Pyewacket. Pyewacket is a film that slowly draws you into a dark, terrifying nightmare from which there is no escape. Imagine a young girl mourning the death of her father, filled with anger at her mother. In an act of desperation and rebellion, deep in the dark forest, she performs a ritual, summoning a sinister force to harm the one she should love most. But the demons, once unleashed, can no longer be stopped. The girl soon discovers that what she has brought is far more terrifying than her worst nightmares. With each passing day, the atmosphere becomes heavier and heavier, and things begin to happen in the house that make a cold shiver run down her back. Shadows become vivid, whispers become screams, and the line between reality and madness becomes increasingly blurred. If you like movies that build tension slowly but inexorably until you feel the claustrophobic horror, Pyewacket is for you. This is not your typical horror movie with monsters popping out. It's a film that puts you in a state of anxiety that stays with you long after the screening is over. Number 6. The Hole in the Ground. The Hole in the Ground is a horror film that draws you into a spiral of fear and paranoia, leading the viewer into the depths of the psyche, where nothing is as it seems. The film tells the story of a man who, after a brutal break-in at his home, begins to suspect that the person who survived with him is not who he claims to be. In a suffocating, claustrophobic atmosphere, the protagonist begins to lose all sense of reality, not knowing whether he is fighting real evil or his mind is playing cruel tricks on him. Tension builds with every minute, and the viewer is drawn into a web of deception and dark secrets from which there is no escape. Is his loved one truly a beloved being, or is he a terrifying copycat just waiting for the right moment to reveal his true, monstrous face? Number 5. Don't Knick Twice. Don't Knock Twice is a horror film that draws you into a world of terrifying supernatural horror. The film tells the story of a woman who tries to rebuild a relationship with her daughter, but their lives quickly turn into a nightmare when they become the target of an ancient, dark curse. Legend has it that if you knock twice on a certain door, you will unleash an indescribable evil, and it is this evil that begins to haunt the protagonists, plunging them into madness. With each successive sound, the knocking becomes more sinister, and dark forces gain in power. An invisible threat lurks in the shadows, ready to pounce on anyone who tries to oppose it. The film certainly delivers a good dose of fear and anxiety, with a suffocating atmosphere that makes you feel as if something unseen is watching you from the darkness. It's a film that will leave you with chills down your spine, especially when you hear an unexpected knock on the door in the evening. Number 4. Wake Wood. The film inspires fear not only through its dark themes, but also through an atmosphere of growing anxiety and brutal revelations. The tension gradually builds, leading the viewer through paths full of surprising and terrifying twists. Wake Wood is a terrifying horror film that combines dark elements with psychological suspense, and its atmosphere and themes can provide an intense and disturbing experience. The plot tells the story of parents who experience an unimaginable tragedy, the loss of their little daughter. Distraught, they arrive in a sunken village where they discover that the inhabitants practice a cruel ritual. They can bring the dead back to life, but only for 3 days. At first, the hope of getting their daughter back seems like a blessing, but it soon becomes clear that coming back to life has horrifying consequences. Number 3. The Cellar. If you're looking for a film that will pull you into a vortex of unspeakable fear and leave you with a feeling of unease long after the screening is over, this is certainly it. It's a story that will not only make you hold your breath, but will also make you wonder what really hides in the darkest corners of your own home. The Cellar is a chilling film that takes the viewer into a world full of indescribable horror. It tells the story of a family who moves into an old house full of dark secrets. When their daughter disappears without a trace, the mother begins to discover that the house hides something much worse than it seemed. At the heart of this spooky mansion is a basement where unimaginable evil lurks, ancient sinister powers that feed on fear. With each step into the depths of the basement, tension builds, and the thin line between reality and nightmare begins to blur. The more secrets come to light, the more it becomes clear that what hides in the basement is unstoppable. Number 2. The Cursed. The Cursed is a dark and disturbing tale set in 19th century France, where the dark shadow of the past begins to haunt a peaceful village. The story begins with a gruesome massacre that sets in motion a curse, an evil so powerful that it permeates time, poisoning the souls and bodies of all who had the misfortune to encounter it. Soon after this cruel event, residents begin to experience terrifying visions and nightmares, and their children disappear under mysterious circumstances. When bodies begin to turn up, mutilated in a manner indicative of something inhuman, fear spreads through the neighborhood. Evil takes physical form, tearing people apart from the inside, turning them into monsters beyond recognition. The atmosphere is suffocating, permeated with a sense of hopelessness and terror, As everyone realizes, there is no way to escape the curse. If you like dark, gothic horror films, where the tension grows with every minute and fear lurks in every shadow, The Cursed is a film that is sure to give you chills. The film effectively blends horror elements with folk beliefs, offering not only a terrifying story, but also a dense, disturbing atmosphere that will stay with you long after the screening is over. Number 1. The Deep House. If you're in the mood for something that will freeze you to the marrow of your bones, make you hold your breath in terror and feel anxiety in the darkest recesses of your imagination, then this is the movie for you. But be prepared for a claustrophobic journey from which there may be no way out. The Deep House is a chilling horror film that will take you to the deepest depths of not only the lake, but also of human horror. Imagine an abandoned house that hides dark secrets. Now imagine that this house is located underwater, in a dark and impenetrable lake where light never reaches. Two divers seeking an extreme experience descend into this underwater crypt, not realizing that they will enter directly into the jaws of a nightmare. In the flooded corridors of this ghastly house lurk the ghosts of the past, monsters that do not rest in peace at all. There you have it, our second descent into the shadows of unknown horror. We hope these sinister selections have left a lasting impression. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you crave more terror. Until next time, sleep with one eye open and never stop seeking the darkness.